What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my most anticipated releases for April 2024. Okay, so boring background, I know. Just get it out of the way now. I'm at a library study room. I'm at my home library. It's Wednesday. I just wanted to get out of the house. So here we are filming. These study rooms are not soundproof because I can hear people from outside, so that means they can hear me. So it's gonna be chill, gonna be nice. I have Goodreads here. Joey is working from home and oh so kindly sent me a picture of the piece of paper that I forgot with my list. Also, I'm wearing my I Can't, Mercury is in Retrograde sweatshirt because it's retrograding, y'all. Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages informed me that that's why I'm spiraling, which makes sense because the total solar eclipse is happening in 5 days. Anywho, if you're new here, I do these monthly. It's a little bit late. It's April 3rd right now. So some of these might have come out yesterday at the time of me filming this video. Sorry, I keep looking over here. I have Goodreads open on my laptop. I do use Goodreads for these synopses, and don't worry, I don't say them verbatim. I am not that gal, okay, to read entire paragraphs. We're gonna paraphrase. We're gonna say what made me interested in them. So I have a list of 2, 4, 17, which is a longer list than most months. So that's a good sign for April, hopefully. I am gonna try to say them in publication order. My list is not in publication order, so if I miss one, sorry in advance. Let's start with one that came out April 1st, Friends in Napa by Sheila Yasmin Marikar. I just love when hands are on covers, especially if it's lit fic. Lit fic and horror with hands on the cover, immaculate. Good sign for a book that I usually possibly would enjoy, but this is apparently a thriller. I thought it was lit fic. It's not. It says 6 old friends are going to Napa Valley for a weekend. Old tensions simmer to the surface. It's a dark comedy. This is the author of The Goddess Effect, which I've never heard of. It just sounds like a good book under 300 pages. Oh, it's on KU. Put it on KU right now, actually, so I don't forget. Amazing. That's the only one that came out on the 1st, but we do have a few that came out on the 2nd. First one being Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Now, I have yet to read even Part of Your World, which is very popular. I do have the arc for this book. I have yet to read an Abby Jimenez, and I kind of don't want this one to be my first one. I want Part of Your World to be my first one, and then Yours Truly, and then this one, because I don't like books set in the summer usually, other than Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is my favorite Emily Henry. But I've heard only good things about Abby Jimenez, even her debut, even her backlist. Everyone loves her. It says Justin has a curse. It's all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. I have a friend who told me she has the same curse. They come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find the love of their lives. She's a traveling nurse in Minnesota. She has a toxic mother. Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings. So they have a lot of baggage, a lot going on, and then they end up together, I'm pretty sure. So there's that. I'm not a fan of the cover. I'm not a fan of books that take place in the summer, so I'm excited for it because I know I'm gonna love Part of Your World. I guess I'm more excited to read an Abby Jimenez, finally. Another book that came out yesterday is called A Short Walk Through a Wide World, which I actually just chose as an add-on for my Book of the Month box, so I should have that in my hands very soon. This got me because it's compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is by Douglas Westerbeek. Addie LaRue meets Life of Pi. It charts the incredible, adventurous life of one woman as she journeys the globe trying to outrun a mysterious curse that will destroy her if she stops moving. Paris, 1885. Ooh, the main character's name is Aubrey. I love that name. I love books set in Paris. So I have high hopes for this one. It's 400 pages though. I love a good curse. I love meandering if it's done well. I haven't heard anything really compared to Addie LaRue since like The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So this is exciting. I hope I love it. I do like the cover, so I'm glad it was a Book of the Month add-on. Another one that came out on the 2nd is called Neighborhood Watch. I don't remember anything about this one. Oh, by Sarah Rita. Oh yeah, the cover was cool, and it says a killer terrorizes the morally bankrupt residents of an upscale neighborhood, leading them to turn to and on one another to survive. So it just sounds like a classic murder mystery thriller where people turn on each other, and I believe it's like a whodunit type of thing. It looks like Sarah Rita is originally a middle grade mystery writer, and it's her debut as an adult author. It says this book is a black comedy full of relatable characters, ulterior motives, and murder. I love that cover. I love how like ominous it is and the blood on the stairs. I love black, red, and white covers. Oh, this is like an off-white. It's like an eggshell. Moving on to Someone You Can Build a Nest In. Also came out yesterday. Jordaline actually brought this up during our sprints on April 1st, and by John Wiswell. So Jordaline explained it way better than I'm going to today, but it's tagged as fantasy, horror, romance, LGBT. It's a creepy, charming, monster-slaying fantasy romance from the perspective of the monster. Other than the cover, that's what got me. I love when POVs are unique, when it's the POV of like the monster, like the evil thing, the serial killer, or like if it's a POV of something that's inanimate or something abstract. Love it. There's a shapeshifter who resides as an amorphous lump at the bottom of a ruined manor. Her rest is interrupted by hunters intent on murdering her. She constructs the body from the remains of past meals. Shut up. That's wild. And then she's nursed back to health after she does get hunted and chased down. She's nursed back to health by a human named Homily. Make an excellent co-parent. Eggs so their young could devour Homily from the inside out.
What the hell is going on?
So the shapeshifter is trying to keep her shapeshifter identity a secret from Homily. Then she's about to confess. Eating her girlfriend isn't an option. Didn't curse anyone, but to give herself and a Homily a chance at happiness, she has to figure out why Homily's twisted family thinks she did. They think she ate her? Toxic in-laws. Long enough to learn to build a life with rather than in the love of her life. That sounds intense in so many ways, and it's 320 pages. That sounds fun. This might be a book I'd actually purchase. I'm gonna put it on my wish list right the fuck now. I think those are all for April 2nd. And then we have April 9th. We have a nonfiction called The Art of Magical Overthinking by Amanda Montell, who wrote Cultish, and I loved. Gave it 5 stars. Thank you, Noelle, once again, for recommending that to me because it changed my life, truly. This one has a beautiful cover. Wait, why isn't it popping up? Is that what it's called? The Art of Magical Overthinking? The Age! It's the age of magical overthinking. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Cognitive bases that run rampant in our brains, from how the halo effect cultivates worship and hatred of larger-than-life celebrities, to how the sunk cost fallacy can keep us in detrimental relationships long after we've realized they're not serving us. Am I gonna feel attacked reading this book? I'm excited. It's been a while since I've read like a self-help book, but I feel like this isn't gonna be as preachy just because I know Amanda Montell's writing from Cultish. I have to read Word Slut still. Super excited for this one. Maybe it'll be my nonfiction for the month if I get my hands on it. Next we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. We've all heard of this one. I actually got this as a book of the month pick as well. All I know is it's Leigh Bardugo. It's a historical fantasy set during the Spanish Golden Age. And really I don't want to know too much about this, so I'm not going to read too further on. A world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the line between magic, science, and fraud is never certain. As her notoriety grows, so does the danger that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. An immortal familiar whose own secrets could prove deadly for... I love immortality in books. I hope I like this one. I love the cover, and I kind of didn't want to get it from Book of the Month because I know the finished copy is going to be so pretty. And I think they have some that are like black sprayed edges, but at this point, I'm just like, whatever's cheaper. Also, on April 9th, we have one called The Sleepwalkers by Scarlett Thomas. Why is it not popping up on Goodreads? There we go, The Sleepwalkers. Okay, I'm not crazy. Patricia Highsmith meets White Lotus, whatever that means, in the surprising and suspenseful modern Gothic story. That's what got me, Gothic. Following a couple running from both secretive past and very present dangers while honeymooning on a Greek island. Every time I think of Greece, or like Greek islands in general, I think of the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, the second movie. So I think I just like wanted that vibe when I saw this. It seems messy, it seems deep, and it seems intense because it is a thriller. The Sleepwalkers asks urgent questions about relationships, sexuality, and the darkest elements of contemporary society, where our most terrible secrets are hidden in plain sight. Another one on April 9th is called... But yeah, that sounds fun. Oh, it's a standalone. For April 16th, we have One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, which is wild because I don't think she put out at least a thriller since When No One Is Watching, right? And I loved When No One Is Watching. I think that's one of the thrillers that got me into thrillers, and that's definitely the thriller that taught me reality horror because it sparked this whole discussion about white creators being like, this isn't scary, fuck you mean this isn't horror, this isn't thrilling. But people of color who have read When No One Is Watching are like, this is terrifying. Gentrification, everyday like discriminations, racism, that like really hit. And the way Alyssa Cole executed that book was really just brilliant. So I'm excited for this one. It's a riveting thriller about the new caretaker of a historic estate who finds herself trapped on an island with a murderer and the ghosts of her past. There's also dissociative identity disorder rep. I don't know if it's own voices or not. I'm not going to assume anything, but yeah, that's there. A web of secrets and in a race against time, Ken and her alters must band together to prove their innocence and discover the truth of Kavanaugh Island and their own past, or they risk losing not only their future, but their life. I just love eerie covers like that, where it's like an isolated setting or like a really old historical setting. It reminds me of The Clinic, and I love The Clinic. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. This is a young adult fantasy, some romance. Blessed by death, born with the ability to pull the life right out of mortal bodies, Ru Ying shouldn't have to fear these foreign invaders, but she does, especially because she wants to keep herself and her family safe. She has to try to trust an enemy prince. She is able to pull the life right out of mortal bodies. That reminded me of The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker, which I love, where she was half British Reaper, half Japanese Shinigami, and this kind of feels like the same vibes. But I mean, this isn't like super priority, but the cover is gorgeous and her like abilities sound like a fun time. The next one that comes out on the 16th is Immortal Pleasures by V. Castro. This is another one with immortality and vampires. I actually have an e-arc of this, and all I needed to know was that the cover is stunning. It's written by V. Castro, who wrote Goddess of Filth, which I loved, and it has immortality and vampires, and I think queer vampires. Ancient Aztec vampire roams the modern world in search of vengeance and love in this seductive dark fantasy. That first sentence alone sounds great. I've only read Goddess of Filth. I had an arc of The Haunting of Alejandra. I heard there's a lot of like graphic birthing scenes in that one, so I just saved myself, you know. So I'm excited to have another book by her. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it before the 16th. I wasn't planning on it, but I do have the e-arc to read on my Kindle. Lastly, for the 16th is Christa Comes Out of Her Shell. Oh, by Abby Waxman. That's right. Okay, yeah, this was definitely just an author interest. I had no idea what the synopsis is. Just when she thought she'd gotten far enough away, a life-changing phone call throws an antisocial scientist back into her least favorite place, the spotlight. I love the way Abby Waxman writes her like quirky little awkward characters. I love The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, and then I think I also enjoyed I Was Told It Would Get Easier. Oh, I tried Other People's Houses and DNF'd it on audio. This one sounds fun. It's tagged as romance, but I don't know if that's like a main thing. Oh yes, an old childhood friend reveals an intense physical attraction neither was expecting. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, putting this on my wish list too. I feel like this one would also teach me a bunch of like fun facts because she's a scientist. I'm here for it. All right, we're almost done, y'all. We are now on April 23rd. And we all know Emily Henry's new book is coming out called Funny Story. I don't even know what it's about. I think it's like two opposite characters who are attracted to each other. Is one a comedian? I don't even know. Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told their story. How they met, fell in love, moved back to his lakeside hometown. He really was good at telling it right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra, which is how Daphne begins her new story. She's in Michigan, living out her dream as a children's librarian, proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. Oh, okay, that actually sounds kind of good. Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne. Miles is scruffy and chaotic. This might actually be a fun time. It's only $12.99 on Amazon right now. I'm not gonna buy it on Amazon. 395 pages for what? Anyway, that comes out the 23rd. Oh, the other one that comes out on the 23rd that's on this list is called Better by Far by Hazel Hayes. When I was making that list, that was the first time I heard that Hazel Hayes is coming out with a new book. She wrote Out of Love. That's one of my favorite books of all time. It's so underrated, the stuff that goes on in that book. Some parts of the book were just scarily accurate to that time in my life when I was reading it. So it was a really like intense reading experience for me. Better by Far was just an auto buy. I immediately pre-ordered it as soon as I saw it and wrote it down on this list. But it says it's a genre-bending story about love and loss, hope and heartbreak, and the healing to be found in life's little limbos, those in-between spaces where you're no longer who you were and not yet the person you will be. There are two people who are experiencing life after a breakup, and they're just just trying to navigate life. I'm so excited for this book. Y'all have no idea. I'm so excited for this book. Holy shit. And I love how simple, minimalistic the cover is. The color palette they chose. Ugh, gorgeous. It's gonna look so good next to Out of Love. All right, we're on the last release date, y'all. April 30th. King of Sloth is coming out. King of Sloth by Anna Huang. I already pre-ordered it, of course. I love the Kings of Sin series. Love, like adore. And I'm currently working on her Twisted series, and I just bought her Backless series. Like If We Ever Meet Again, or If I Could Love, or something like that. I don't remember, but there's 4 of those too. So I have things to hold me over if I needed it. I do want to get to Twisted Games this month at some point, so I might do that before the 30th, but I'm stoked for King of Sloth. I have cried for every book in that series. I gave all 3 5 stars. Twisted Love, though, I gave, I think, 3 stars. I have a love-hate relationship with the fact that I read her books like out of order and not publication order, so I can't see her, like I'm going backwards in terms of like her writing. I would have loved to see her writing evolve as I went, but alas, here we are. Still super stoked for King of Sloth. It follows a guy with my ex's name, so whatever, but I don't know what the tropes are. I think I've said it in a vlog before, but I forgot. He's her client, and that's all he'll ever be, right? Sloane Kensington is a high-powered publicist. Xavier is her client. There's that. The very last book on this list also comes out on the 30th. It's called Missing White Woman by Kelly Garrett. A woman thinks she's waking up to a romantic vacation only to find a body in her rental home and her boyfriend gone. A black woman alone in a new city. Bree is stranded. It becomes clear the dead woman is none other than Janelle Beckett, the missing woman the entire internet has become obsessed with. That's an interesting premise. It sounds riveting, and it's 336 pages. I always check the page count now. I don't know when that habit started. I check it when I like have the book in my hands, but I've never done this until now. But anyway, those are all the books. Let me know if you're interested in any of these books. Let me know what your April most anticipated releases are. And if you made it to the end of this video, let's put a crab emoji in the comments down below. One, because I'm a Cancer, so that fits. But in Christa Comes Out of Her Shell, I see a crab on the cover. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a vampy day. Don't forget to do some self-care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!